It's the morning of July 11, 1996. You're a hotel worker arriving for the early shift at a Knoxville, Tennessee construction site, a Fairfield Inn that isn't open yet, still being built on the edge of Interstate 40. You walk into the parking lot. There's a man on the ground. You get closer. Scattered around his body is nearly $4,000 in cash, Canadian dollars, American dollars, German marks. In a fanny pack around his waist, nearly 5 ounces of gold bars, gold and platinum coins, a gold chain, a valuable watch. All of it untouched. His pants have been removed. A single long strand of hair is clutched in his hand. His name is Blair Adams. He is 31 years old. He is from Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. He has no identification on his body. He has no enemies anyone knows of. He has no connection to Knoxville. Nobody in this city knew he was coming. Nobody in this city, as far as investigators can determine, knew who he was. And somehow, in the span of 6 days, he traveled from Canada to Washington State to Washington, D.C. to Knoxville, Tennessee, telling everyone who would listen that somebody was trying to kill him. He was right. Robert Dennis Blair Adams was born on December 28, 1964, in Surrey, British Columbia. He worked as a construction foreman for his stepfather's company. By all accounts, he was competent, reliable, and well-liked. He had battled alcoholism earlier in his life and by mid-1996 had achieved 2 years of sobriety, a fact his family and colleagues cited as evidence of his discipline and determination. He had a girlfriend. She lived in Germany. He had been planning to visit her. He had no known enemies. He had no criminal history. He was not, by any measure that his family or friends could identify, the kind of person whose death anyone would have predicted. In early July 1996, that changed completely. On July 5, 1996, 6 days before his body was found, Blair Adams withdrew almost all the cash from his bank account and the entire contents of his safety deposit box. Nearly 5 ounces of gold bars, gold and platinum coins, and jewelry. He told his mother something was wrong. When she asked what, he said he couldn't tell her about it. He told friends and family that someone was trying to kill him. He did not explain who. He did not explain why. He quit his job without collecting his paycheck. He left his construction site unlocked. He stopped attending his Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. His behavior became erratic, paranoid, and, to those around him, completely uncharacteristic. Determined to flee, he drove his own car to Vancouver Airport, switched it for a Nissan Altima rental, and attempted to cross the border into the United States. He was turned back twice before finally making it across on his 3rd attempt. He had originally planned to fly to Germany to see his girlfriend. He never boarded that flight. Instead, he flew from Seattle to Washington, D.C., buying a one-way ticket when a round trip would have cost half the price. Think about that decision for a moment. He was running from something. He didn't plan to come back. He arrived in Washington, D.C. on July 10th, immediately rented a Toyota Camry, and drove 7 hours southwest to Knoxville, Tennessee. He had no known connection to Knoxville. Nobody has ever established why he went there. He told no one he was going. He entered Tennessee around 5:30 p.m., stopping at a BP gas station on Strawberry Plains Pike where his rental car wouldn't start. He was using the wrong key. A tow truck driver was called. The driver dropped Blair at the under-construction Fairfield Inn nearby. Blair rented a room. It is believed he never entered it. That night, Blair was seen with an unidentified man at several restaurants in Knoxville. A composite sketch was made of this man. He has never been identified. The next morning, Blair Adams was found dead in the parking lot. The cause of death was determined to be a blow to the abdomen, an abdominal perforation. His throat had also been cut. The medical examiner determined he had been sexually assaulted. There was no DNA evidence recovered from the assault, only the single long strand of hair clutched in his hand, which DNA testing confirmed did not belong to Blair. That hair has never been matched to any person in any database. Robbery was ruled out as a motive immediately. The $4,000 in mixed currency, the gold bars, the jewelry, the valuable watch, all of it was left behind. Whatever happened to Blair Adams in that parking lot, it was not a robbery. The Knox County Sheriff's Office investigated. The FBI was involved. Authorities pursued leads including a man seen arguing with Blair at a gas station and a woman who allegedly received a threatening phone call from him shortly before his death. Neither lead produced answers. Blair's mother, re-interviewed years later, revealed that he had previously been in a romantic relationship with a male roommate, information she had never shared with investigators before. She suggested his death may have been connected to that relationship. This information arrived years after the initial investigation and could not be effectively pursued. The composite sketch of the unidentified man Blair dined with the night before his death remains the most significant unresolved lead in the case. Investigators have exhausted most of their leads but are still working on it. The case remains officially unsolved. Blair Adams has been dead for nearly 30 years. The strand of hair in his hand has never been matched. The man in the composite sketch has never been identified. Nobody knows what it was that Blair couldn't tell his mother. The Blair Adams case is one of the most behaviorally complex investigations your channel has covered, because the behavior we need to analyze most carefully is Blair's own, in the 6 days before his death, and what it tells us about what he knew, what he feared, and whether that fear was justified. Begin with the behavioral pattern of acute paranoia. In the week before his death, Blair exhibited a constellation of behaviors that mental health professionals and forensic investigators consistently associate with a person who believes they are in genuine mortal danger. Withdrawal of all liquid assets, liquidation of stored valuables, abrupt job termination, repeated statements to multiple people that someone wanted him dead, erratic travel designed to confuse or evade pursuit, and the deliberate purchase of a one-way ticket. These behaviors pattern match almost perfectly with what forensic psychologists call flight response escalation *, a state in which a perceived threat triggers increasingly extreme avoidance behaviors. The key diagnostic question is whether the threat was real or perceived. In genuine flight response escalation triggered by delusion, the subject typically cannot identify a specific source of threat. They know they are in danger but cannot say from whom or why. Blair told his mother he couldn't tell her about it. That deliberate withholding is behaviorally significant. A person experiencing paranoid delusion typically cannot name the threat because it doesn't exist in concrete form. A person genuinely fleeing a real threat sometimes cannot name it because naming it would put others in danger, or because the truth about what they were running from was something they were ashamed of. The detail about Blair's previous relationship with a male roommate, information his mother withheld from investigators for years, opens a behavioral pathway that was never fully explored. If Blair's secret was connected to his sexuality, and if someone threatened to expose or harm him because of it, his inability to tell his mother about it becomes suddenly and precisely explicable. He couldn't explain the threat without revealing the secret the threat was predicated on. The murder itself carries behavioral signatures that resist the robbery theory completely. The removal of his pants, the sexual assault, the untouched valuables. This was personal, targeted violence against Blair specifically, not opportunistic crime. The single strand of hair in his hand suggests he fought back, grabbed at his attacker, and held on. DNA confirmed it wasn't his. That hair is the only physical trace of his killer that exists. The unidentified man Blair dined with the night before his death is the most diagnostically significant unknown in this case. A composite sketch was made but the man was never identified. Blair Adams knew nobody in Knoxville. He arrived in a city he had no connection to, and within hours he was having dinner with an unidentified man. That dinner was either arranged, someone knew Blair was coming to Knoxville, or it was the product of a chance encounter that ended in murder. Neither explanation is comfortable. The first implies Blair was tracked despite his evasive routing. The second implies he trusted a stranger in an unfamiliar city while in a state of extreme paranoid vigilance. Blair Adams told everyone who loved him that someone was trying to kill him. He withdrew everything he owned. He crossed international borders 3 times. He drove 7 hours through the night to a city where he knew nobody. He clutched a strand of his killer's hair as he died. He knew. He ran. He didn't run far enough. The case is still open.